if you're thinking about a career change, I'm not telling you to become a coder. I'm telling you to figure out how to understand how it works and how to manage people that do understand that skill set because that's going to be a huge job type in the future. I believe we're heading into what's called a gig economy for everyone. It's been like that for me for a long time. I was a freelance, then I started my company. A lot of these jobs that went away, they're not going to come back because all these companies that overgrew their staff, they're not going to go back to that. Amazon's not going to go up 90% again that quick. Maybe in 10, 20 years they might do it, but I think the jobs will be very different that they're hiring for in 10, 20 years because as you see, when you look at stuff like ChatGPT, you could do a lot more as one person by leveraging code, right? Which is leveraging code in a way that helps. You're going to have to really understand that for yourself and try it so you can learn the skills. So when there's a bit less jobs, you could be one of the people that take them. What type of strategies am I thinking about right now during this time as a person, as a business? So basically, right now, the way I see it is why do you think I'm making content so much? I've literally posted at least one time a video in over 3 months in a row because I see this point in history and I'm saying, I'm not going to not leverage all the leverage points. I know how to leverage them. I've been a person that has been hired to do each one of these leverage points. I've managed each one of these leverage points. How can I not use them at this very historic time? One of the leverage points I'm leaning on is media. I'm saying, okay, I have a good idea that leverages code, people, and money. How am I going to get that word out? I'm going to create media to bring it to as many people as possible as fast as possible. That idea is one of our sponsors, Stack. If you want to be part of Stack and learn how to pay your bills and invest at the same time with up to 100% of the bill money that you're spending, go to stackit.ai and join the waitlist. It's gonna emails are gonna start going out this week so you can test out the app. I have a product that I've been working on for about 2 years, but I've started developing it through code for less than 4 months now. Now it's ready because I see an opportunity. The first time I saw an economic slowdown was in 2001. I was a freelance developer at that point. So what did I have to do at that point? I had to freelance more. I had to go speak to a lot of different people and say, "Hey, do you need somebody to develop your website?" Yes. All right. So I would get projects. It was a business, but I was operating as an individual. People knew me as Miguel Sanchez and they hired me as Miguel Sanchez. That was 2001. I was an intern at a publicly traded company developing. That publicly traded company went out of business and I started leveraging my relationships with people to bring in more business as a developer. Then I landed a job about 3 years later or about 2 years later at an agency that had Disney as a client. Disney had always been my dream company to work for. As a kid, I wanted to be an animator. And that's actually how I got into development. So when I think about that history and I think about if I was now, what I would be doing, you got to think about what skill sets you have and what skill sets you believe are going to be important in the future, right? I wanted to be an animator when I came out of school, but there wasn't a lot of animation jobs, especially in New York City. Everybody told me I needed to go to LA to get animation jobs. I started to look around and I saw that coding was a big, because at that point it wasn't as huge as it is right now. So I said, you know what? I think code is going to be huge. I wasn't a developer, but then I said, you know what? I think this is the future. I'm going to have to learn it. I hated it. I hated learning it. I still don't love it, but I'm glad I fought through that and got an understanding and a few years of building stuff myself because now I can manage people doing any idea I want. Nobody can overcharge me on anything because I know what the job entails. So when I think about that for anybody listening or watching, what is that for you? Maybe code is not the thing for you, but there's, like I said, there's media, there's money, right? So if you could learn how investors why investors give money to ideas and manage that process, you can make a lot of money. If you can learn about business and how businesses manage people, you could become a manager. I just think about it and I say, what would I like doing? Where do I see things going? And how can I position myself ahead of the line when opportunities come? The jobs are going to come down right now. They're already starting to come down. They say more and more are going to happen throughout the year. So there's going to be a lot of layoffs. But you're talking about competing with people from Facebook, Google, the top companies in the world are laying off thousands and thousands of people. So now you're going to have to compete with them for different jobs. These people, they've been in the tech space for a while, so they understand where things are going. So if you're that person that may not understand where things are going, it's up to you to start researching that in your industry, the fields you like and want to get into. Another big thing I've been saying for years is if your job is easy to automate, it will be automated. So if you do something that's very repetitive and you're like, man, yeah, definitely a robot could do this. I'm pretty sure they could code something that could. If you're thinking that, somebody's doing it. I guarantee you. So you need to be more proactive and say, what if a new service came out and just took my job today? What am I going to do? Because no job is safe. I haven't seen one job that's safe. I did a speech 3, 4 years ago to the creative community about how AI was coming for them. At that point, nobody believed that. But I saw a bunch of tools being created to do creative work, and most people weren't looking. When I showed, "Oh, what's your job?" "Oh, here's an AI that does that." "What's your job?" "Here's an AI that does that." Of course, it took 4 years, and now we're seeing it's everywhere. But I gave those people a 4-year heads up. Whatever you're doing, upskill yourself because something's coming for your job.